Welcome to Land House. In this video, I show you how I made this storage shelf. To begin this build, I have pre-cut some materials. I have 8 of these 7" by 7" triangle pieces. I have 4 2x4s cut at 11 3/4 inch. And then I have 4 of these 2x4s. They've been ripped down. They are 16 inch. The reason I cut these to this length is because I had a scrap piece of 8 foot by 13.5 inch OSB. I just wanted to use that scrap up as my shelf. To get started, I want to make this piece right here. The 2x4 is sticking out, triangles are sandwiching that piece, and the ripped down 2x4 is what's going to go against the wall here. So it's going to be flat against the wall, and this is what's going to be holding up everything. So to make that, I'm going to take a piece of my ripped down 2x4, measuring out 5 inches from the bottom. And that's just the location that the 2x4 is going to be sitting at, just like that. And then I can use these triangular pieces here to go on each side. Now I'm just going to use a clamp here to keep these in place while I insert the screws. I put one on the top here. And now I'm going to move my clamp. I still want to make sure that I keep the board where it needs to be down here on the 5 inch up mark. And now I can come down here and place screws into that ripped down 2x4. Okay, and lastly, I want to remove my clamp here and put 2 more screws on the very bottom down here. And there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and complete the others, and we'll get this put on the wall. Now that I have the bracing done, it's time to get them installed. The location for this is going to be behind me here, above my tool wall. So let's go ahead and mark out the first stud location and get this squared up and installed. I'm going to be installing this with 3.5 inch Torx screws. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and pre-drill into this support. I'm going to do 2 up top and then 1 on the bottom. And that's just going to make sure I don't split this 2x4 whenever I put this up here. I'm going to go ahead and get some screws started here so it's easier whenever I get up on the ladder. Okay, I'm going to be installing this a little bit low here so that my ladder can attach to this. So I know that my stud is here based on the screws that I've put in previously. So we'll go ahead and get the lower one installed down here. Leave my battery instead. Let's try this one real quick. A little bit better. Now I want to make sure I get this level on both sides here. So get this side. And then up here should be the same. Very good. Nice. For the second support, I'm using 2 different levels. one here across the top to make sure that they are level from one to the other. And then I'm using the other level here just to make sure that it is straight up and down. So because of the way my wall was put together here, the next stud is a little bit off from 2 feet. And so I'm just going to move this over here so that I can connect to the stud even though it is a bit off. And then once again I'm just going to use my level to make sure that it's corresponding to the previous set there. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to put one screw in so I can use it to pivot to level the other direction. That step is looking nice. Have all 4 of those installed properly, and they seem to be up there quite nice and strong. To be able to support small pieces of material up here, I'm going to be using this piece of OSB, and I just want to set it up here and make some marks on where I need to cut out to allow these support pieces to fit between. If that makes sense. Because as you can see here, if I were to just place this up here, there'd be quite a gap between the wall and this piece. So I just want to mark out and cut around that 2x4. Just using a scrap piece of ripped down 2x4 here as kind of a template to know just a general idea of where to cut out here. Alright, let's see how well this thing works up here. All right, fits quite nicely. Gonna use a couple of 2-inch screws to keep this from coming out here. And that concludes the basic build of this storage unit here. Very strong and very capable of holding the material I'm going to be putting up there. Let me show you the top side real quick. So it just comes out to a very basic flat shelf up top. To go along with this shelf in the future, I'm going to add a bar to allow my shop ladder, which is hanging right here, to access this portion up here so I can easily get material down without having to use this ladder here. And that's going to look something like this right here, just a single bar across that will span these pieces here with a 2x4 behind it. Now that the shelf has been installed, let's go ahead and put some of the material up here. Having a ladder in the middle is going to help later on, but for now I just want to go ahead and get some of this stuff stored up here to see how well it's going to do. Okay, that's really great. If I need a 2x4 or a 2x6, I'll have them stored up there and won't be too difficult to get down. When the ladder is here in the middle, should make it even easier. I like that a lot. And it's already clearing up this back space over here. So it's going to give me more room to work with out here in the shop. Hey, what's the problem? What you making that noise for? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed the build, hit that thumbs up. And if you know somebody with a shop that could use some extra storage shelves, then do share this video with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.